So the Nazca lines, some of them are geometric patterns, some of them 70 are of animals and plants, some of them are simply linear lines that extend for 70 to 80 miles. And one of the mysteries is, how could these have been drawn proportionally from the ground when the only time that the proportions can be seen is from an aerial view? And the truth is that we don't know the answer to that. So when we look at Nazca and what is now believed to be the earthly reflection at the Nazca site of the cosmos, it is very possible that the knowledge of our relationship to the stars existed much earlier and was transmitted to the people of Nazca.
What might these massive formations carved into the Peruvian landscape signify for their ancient creators? Is it possible that the Nazca geoglyphs represent a code meant for off-world visitors?
The geoglyphs themselves would seem to reflect the influence of the stars. They would seem to be in the shape of constellations and different asterisms that are made out of the stars in the sky.
Because Nazca is in the southern hemisphere, not all the stars were projected in the codes that are carved in the desert. Mostly they are from the south, from the perspective of the south, and the equator ones. The equator ones were the most important because they showed us the moments of the year. So most of the main systems of stars that were used by many of the cultures around the world usually are those that for some periods of time disappear and then appear again in the horizon. So this is why Pleiades, Orion, Canis, and other systems that disappears in the horizon are the main ones that you can find in those carvings.
If this is true, why was this important to these people? What specifics can we connect from the constellations in the sky to the images below?
The spider is very much connected to Orion, apparently. And if you actually track parts of the body of the spider, you begin to realize that they seem to track the actual projection of the belt stars of Orion over time. So it's an actual marker on the ground. And the fact that the most ancient cultures of all around the Earth also are associated with the belt stars of Orion. And this is where you're in South America, Central America, China, Japan, the Pacific Islands, and even Europe. It's always an association with the belt stars of Orion. Some of the birds, hummingbird and other exotic creatures that are found in Nazca also appear to be symbolic of certain constellations as they would have been seen and projected on the ground at that particular time. And the thing that I find interesting about these birds is that they're not local. They're not the local species of birds. They're exotic species which are found in the Amazon, which is quite a way away from Nazca. So there's a reason why they brought these birds all the way from a place where they don't exist to this location in order to make them the projection of something that you see up in the sky and bring that projection onto the ground. Again, you have to understand what the idea through their eyes, not for our eyes, but what were they looking at? You have to go back into their shoes and their mythology in order to understand why they use certain shapes to bring down onto the ground the projection of the sky.